Welcome everyone to this game between Vincent Keymer and MVL. It's black to move here. White's last move was queen d3, pawn to e4, pushed by MVL in the center. It's a complex position. We look at the entire game. Let's first look at where we are joining in and understand what's happening. So he takes the pawn and now MVL takes on e4. So he's threatening the pawn on c4, but look at this, so many weaknesses in the position. And now bishop g1, offering to trade the rooks, because then the f5 pawn would be very weak. One question is that right now f5 is protected by the queen, so bishop g1, now e4 is hanging. He takes on c4, defends his rook. What does MVL have in mind here? I mean, what does Vincent have in his mind? He takes on e4. You can't take with the pawn because the rook is hanging. And rook takes e4 taken. And now there's a very nice move, which is queen b5. Attacks the rook. And he finds it. Queen b5. Attacks the pawn. The knight is almost trapped here. Notice how the bishop controls d4. The bishop attacks the rook and the pawn. He goes queen g6. So he's okay to give up this material on e4. And I guess you can take it as Vincent. He's trying to analyze and he takes it. Bishop e4, fe. By the way, queen e8 check no longer possible as the queen defends that square. So fe. And now, well, Vincent can take here, but he plays bishop e3, taking away the d2 square. Now the threat is to take and the knight would be trapped. That would be quite a pity. So bishop f6 played here. And now queen takes a4, attacking the knight. So the knight can go to a1, but that's such a sad square. So it has to go to the center, knight d4. And he plays it. Knight to d4. Now Vincent has many different ways to win. He has bishop d4. But boom, he takes on f6. If queen f6, queen e8 check and you lose the knight. Otherwise gf6 and d4 is hanging and MVL resigns the game. A very, very dominating win for Vincent Keymer. And the question is, how did Vincent manage to win such a convincing manner in just 38 moves against one of the biggest experts of the Najdorf, when Vincent actually played the Najdorf for the first time in his life? How did that happen? So let's have a look at the game and try to understand few of the nuances which can help you in your own chess games if you're planning to play against the Najdorf. So Vincent opened the game with pawn to e4, c5, knight f3, and MVL stuck to his favorite Najdorf. Now f3, e5, the knight went back. This is all very standard. You play your bishop out, queen d2. And now generally white wants to long castle and go g4. So h5 stops that plan of g4. Bishop e2, a little bit positional there, knight d7. And now instead of deciding whether you want to go short or long, you go knight d5. Takes. You can also take with the knight, by the way, but bishop takes, pawn takes, and queen c7 is very common, has been played several times. And now pawn to c4, gaining some space. a5 is played with the idea of a4. And now the main move was a4, but rook d1. This was played by Le Tingye against Abhimanyu Mishra. The idea is to vacate the a1 square so that the knight can make this maneuver. h4, and now after castles plays rook e1. I think Vincent messed up some move order, because now after a4, now you have both moves, knight a1 and knight c1. Let's imagine you go knight a1. Then there is this very nice maneuver with bishop d8, queen c8, and bishop a5, which could be very potentially problematic. But I think MVL played knight h5 and Vincent was happy. He's back on track. f5. b3, b6, and from this point onwards you can see that MVL becomes a bit slow in his execution. He has to think of some pawn sacrifices. E4, f4, goes queen d8, knight e2, queen e8, bishop c2, queen g6, king h1, a very nice move. You can see how the knight is going here and here. And after knight g1, he went knight h3, and already the knight is beautifully positioned. White is slowly going to expand on the queen side with a3, b4. And you can see Vincent taking his time, rearranging his rooks, and here MVL loses his calm and plays a4. We get b4, knight to b3, and now queen d3 was perhaps the strongest move, putting pressure here, but he went queen e2, and after bishop d8, he went queen d3, e4, and this is the point from where we saw the game. Takes, bishop g1, and it was thoroughly outplaying his opponent here with queen a4 and now rook f6. It's incredible how positionally Vincent outplayed MVL, and that too in his first game of the Najdorf. Hats off to Vincent Keymer.
Vincent, our second win here at the Super Chess Classic. How do you feel after outplaying MVL in the night of today?
Yeah, it's really nice, It's my first Najdorf game ever, and of course MVL is a big specialist. We also saw against Abhyudaya how strong he is when he gets the chance. So yeah, I think the critical point today was that I got the kind of setup that I wanted. And before, I think I kind of messed up some move orders, so he had some chances to probably break out somewhere and get counterplay. But he didn't use those. Maybe could have spent a little more time at those moments. And then, once I got my knight to h3, his position was really, really sad. It's like just very restricted. And basically, it's just a question of whether I can break through or not. But there are no real threat anymore. And of course, it's also very unpleasant to defend.
Do you think Rook d1 was the first surprise in the game?
I think so, yeah. I mean, a4 is the main move, but rook d1 is something I had prepared. I mean, not specifically for today, but the line I generally looked at, so yeah.
Where do you think he started to go wrong after knight c5, or where do you think was his final mistake?
I think a little earlier. I think once maybe first of all, he had this option to go a4 after rook e1, which maybe he should have taken, but generally speaking, I think either before bishop d3 or after bishop d3, he should do something like h3, e4, f4, breaking through there. And I mean, maybe then also b6 wasn't the best move to prepare that. Probably something like rook a8 would have been smarter. And then, yeah, I guess, the kind of things that I did wrong would have mattered, because I guess I could have won maybe a tempo somewhere by playing smarter. So that, yeah, this way he didn't punish it, and then I got the setup I wanted.
You've played like long games till now in this tournament. How do you evaluate your performance after round 4 in this tournament?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it overall. Of course, the first game was going up and down, and also yesterday I really made my life quite difficult. I could have made that draw easier, but at least I never messed up. That kind of gave me a good feeling, and I think today, apart from the struggles with move orders, was a very good game. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the more or less second half of the tournament now.
We also saw Peter Liko was here with you. How is it, preparing for this tournament, and how in general, how is it to have him in this tournament?
Well, having Peter here is of course a great support, and he knows how these things work, right? So having someone to talk to about like which opening to choose, how to approach the game in general, I can honestly say that it was a quite big discussion to go for the Najdorf, because my tournament situation was quite pleasant. I was on +1, and we saw what happened to Alireza. So of course MVL is a very strong Najdorf player, and I never played a single game of Najdorf before in my life, so it would be kind of my first experience, which means that usually you are not as comfortable or experienced in those structures. So that was kind of a big not discussion, but it was not easy to decide. So then I think also he spent the long hours at night preparing a lot. So yeah, I'm really just happy he's here, and so far it's working out great.
And you're also part of the tour now. How happy were you when you heard about this news? Yeah.
Oh, it was a great feeling. I mean, being part of Grand Chess Tour really is something special for any chess player. And there are so many players who kind of would deserve, or you could at least say they deserve a spot here, and only a few can get those. So yeah, I'm very happy, and let's see how the tour goes.
Well, amazing game today, Vincent, and all the very best for the rest.
Thank you.